Most predators in the ancient world chose a side: land or sea. Some ruled forests and plains. Others dominated rivers and oceans. But one creature erased that rule entirely. Along ancient coastlines, instinct offered a simple choice: step inland toward the trees or move closer to the water. Land meant terrestrial hunters. The sea meant marine killers. Either way, danger had boundaries. But for a time in the age of dinosaurs, those boundaries collapsed. Because one predator hunted in both worlds. How does a single dinosaur dominate land and sea without being forced to specialize, without being torn apart by evolution itself? The answer begins at the shoreline. The ancient coast was never meant to belong to one ruler. Herds of herbivores grazed near the water's edge. Drawn by fresh plants and shallow drinking pools, they scanned the forest behind them for movement. That was where danger usually came from. They did not expect it from the waves. Just beneath the surface, a massive shape moved. Not swimming like a fish. Not gliding like a creature built only for water. It moved with deliberate control, then it rose. Heavy limbs pressed into mud. Water poured from scaled skin. A towering body hauled itself onto land. Not awkwardly, not slowly, but with confidence. This dinosaur wasn't visiting land, it owned it. For decades, paleontologists were puzzled by fossils found near ancient coastlines. Dinosaur bones mixed with marine remains, teeth embedded in shells. Bite marks on land animals suggesting attacks that began in shallow water. The same predator appeared in marine sediments and inland deposits. This was no accident. This dinosaur lived between worlds. Evolution rewards specialization. Land hunters developed legs built for gravity. Marine predators evolved streamlined bodies and propulsion-driven tails. Its limbs were thick and muscular, strong enough to support massive weight on land. The feet were wide and powerful, capable of pushing against mud and shallow water. Its tail acted as both aquatic stabilizer and terrestrial counterbalance. Now imagine a herd grazing near the shoreline. Adults watch the tree line. They expect a charge from land. They do not watch the water. Ripples form too close. The attack begins without warning. A massive body explodes from the shallows. Jaws slam shut around a victim before panic can spread. The predator chooses its direction. If resistance builds, it drags backward into deeper water. If escape seems possible, it lunges forward onto land. It controls the battlefield. Prey animals learn patterns. They learn where danger comes from. But how do you adapt to a hunter that can appear from either side? Fossils suggest herds tightened formation. Some species avoided coastlines entirely. Others developed denser bone structures, possibly to resist attack. The fossil record reveals the impact. In regions where this predator lived, biodiversity near coastal zones declined sharply. Marine species shifted deeper offshore. Land animals moved inland. Entire ecosystems adjusted. This was not random predation. This was domination. But domination carries a cost. Its skeleton tells that story too. Healed fractures, stress marks, worn joints. Every hunt demanded energy. Moving between environments placed enormous strain on muscles and bone. It was powerful, but expensive to maintain. And when climate patterns shifted, that cost increased. Sea levels fluctuated. Storms intensified. Stable shorelines eroded. Hunting zones changed. You can dominate two worlds, but only while the boundary exists. When that boundary collapses, so does the strategy built around it. Evidence suggests a gradual decline. Injuries increased. Juveniles struggled to survive long enough to master both environments. Prey patterns shifted away from coastlines. The terror of land and sea began to fade. Picture the final days. For the first time, it cannot control both sides. Eventually, it disappears from the fossil record. Not in a dramatic extinction, not in a single catastrophe, but slowly, silently. For a brief window in Earth's history, one dinosaur erased the line between land and sea, and nothing that shared its shoreline was ever truly safe. Today, we know that boundary-breaking predator by a name that still sparks debate among scientists. Spinosaurus. It did not belong solely to land. It did not belong solely to water. For a time, it belonged to both. And that was enough to dominate the edge of the world. If this dinosaur that conquered land and sea changed how you see prehistoric predators, like this video and subscribe for more stories from Earth's forgotten world.